On behalf of the Mississippi Senate and everyone in the staff, I'd like to thank you all for being here today. I'd like to thank you for the mission that you execute, doing an excellent job at doing that. And just with that, I'd like to let you have it, General. It's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, good morning. I have with me here this morning my Command Sergeant Major Shane Cook, and we have our legislative liaison, Chris Thomas, who is dual-hatted, by the way, is also the 184th Expeditionary Sustainment Commander as well. We have the president of our Officer Association, Mr. Dave Barton, here with us as well. We have our State Resources Director, Mr. Phil Hardy, with us as well. And we have, of course, John Morgan, our lobbyist, is back there as well. So thank you all for being here. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to open up and just kind of tell you how much you and the team here, how much we appreciate your support and how we could not do what we do every day without your support. So we thank you for that. We acknowledge that. And it's not that way in every state. I'll just say that, and I'll leave it at that. In having meetings with other tags the last 18 months, a little oversight of what we're doing in the Mississippi National Guard and the soldiers that we have deployed right now. Of course, we have Charlie and 114th out of Tupelo, Mississippi, the Lakota unit up there. They're on the southern border doing great things there every day, and they'll be there for another 6 or 8 months. We have about 300 soldiers based out of Newton, Mississippi, doing the National Capital Region mission there. That mission is going on, tracking every airframe in and out of D.C. Every day. That's going on since 9/11, and this is our 5th rotation up there for our air defense artillery. We also have about 200 soldiers and leading the unit there out of West Point, Mississippi, the 223rd. They're supporting Operation Safe and Beautiful as well. We got confirmation that mission will continue on through the calendar year of 26 right now. So we'll be planning another rotation of about 200 soldiers and airmen there the end of March as well. Little story here, as you well know, Operation Midnight Hammer that took place a few months ago with the B-2 bombers. I'd like everybody to know that the Mississippi National Guard was part of that operation, as it was a 37-hour mission with B-2 bombers. Our 186th out of Meridian refueling unit, they did all the calculations for the refueling, and it was a refueling mission that took place 3 times over a 37-hour mission. So just know that your Mississippi National Guardsmen are certainly involved in not only state and national operations, but we certainly have a global reach there as well. As I spoke earlier, the administration's #1 priority being Homeland Defense. The Mississippi National Guard has been involved in training many international partners down at Camp Shelby for the last several months, and we continue to do that. And we're certainly staying relevant on the national scene. So I'll get into the total budget that we're asking for this FY, and Mr. Chairman, it looks a lot like it did last year. It's a little modest increase, but not a whole lot. The total general fund, and I'll kind of go down the list and break it out, but the total general fund for appropriations a little over $2 million, and what makes that up is the support piece of about $7 million through our State Resources Office for our employees, our state employees. The Youth Challenge Academy, a little over $2 million, and most all of you are very familiar with that program. That is a straight National Guard program, and there has been, and it continues to be, success story after success story there. But that would be their operating budget. And then the Mississippi Armed Forces Museum of about 788,000, which is a little bit of an increase, but again, it's an operating budget there for our Mississippi Armed Forces Museum. Our SEAT program, the State Education Assistance Program, we're asking for a little bit more this year at 6.3. And the reason that is increased, as you well know, the tuition cost at all the institutions of higher learning continues to go up every year. Our Military Department Readiness Centers Fund, we're asking for 5 million, which is M&R funding for our 60 armories that we have throughout the state of Mississippi, for a total of about 21.5 million is the ask for this year. We did not ask for M&R funding last year because we had some one-time ask, and specifically, of course, was the armory up in Amory that you remember. So, but the number looks about the same. Sir, the escalation authority, it currently sits at 164 million for the Mississippi National Guard. We're asking to increase that to 225 million. And all that is, Mr. Chairman, is when we get federal monies, we cannot spend that federal money without the approval of the legislature. So we're just asking, based off of some projects, MILCON projects and stuff that's going on out there, just asking for that escalation authority to be increased to 225 million. Our federal investment for FY25 was 784 million federal monies that we got here in Mississippi, that is spent here in Mississippi. And of that 784 million, 384 million of that was payroll for our employees in the Mississippi National Guard. Our permanent pins are at 886, which most, probably 95% of those permanent pins are all federally reimbursed. We don't have very many jobs that are just straight state funded. A good example of those federally reimbursed jobs are the firemen that are at the Jackson International Airport, the security that's at the Jackson International Airport. They fall under our State Resources Department, but their salaries are all federally reimbursed. So, okay, and on the second page there, as you well know, we had asked for a TRICARE healthcare coverage for our service members, and no doubt the Senate and the leadership of the Senate has pushed that already. And again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that and how that is going to set our young soldiers and airmen up for success, as we know that they will have health coverage pending on, you know, what the House version of that looks like, of course. But again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership, and the entire Senate, and in the support of the Mississippi National Guard. Thank you, sir. I'll yield back.
Thank you, General. I appreciate it very much. I'll just start at the TRICARE that you just mentioned. I think that's a very good program that we've been working a couple of years, and the Senate's done its job at getting it passed out, and hopefully we'll work with the House and get a good version. As I investigated that and talked to several different people for it, you know, I know that we've gone through a moment in time where applications and everything is up, which is a very good thing, but this speaks as much to that, or probably more to those mid-career people in retainment. Is that correct? I think it's important for us to make sure, as this goes through the system, that while recruitment is up, maintaining those great men and women in their mid-30s, when they, you know, really in a good position of knowledge from leaving when they've got the insurance. Is that true?
That's true. It's actually we're the third state, or we will be the third state to have completed this. And it's like you said, you know, we have an investment in especially our mid-range non-commissioned officers, the ones that make it happen every day. And when they get, you know, the sergeants and staff sergeants that get to, you know, in their early 30s, and they have, you know, children, and life itself kind of takes over, and we've got all those training dollars that we've trained them, and for whatever reason they they kind of, that's our target audience, if you will. So yeah, that's one. And then of course the other one is as we bring guardsmen on to state active duty to respond to a catastrophic event, sometimes some of our younger soldiers and airmen do not have health care coverage. And if one of them were to break a leg or whatever, get some type of salmonella poisoning from a sandwich or whatever, and they don't have health care service, then it rolls into that workman's comp piece. And we're asking them to come do a service for the state of Mississippi. And certainly with you all's leadership, it just makes sense to make sure they have health coverage for whatever mission they have to do.
Absolutely. I think
Yes,
return on investment will be a no-brainer on it, and hopefully we've got a good workable form when we finish the session this year on it.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to a minute to the education assistance program. We're going to try to put a little bit more money in it this year. I think last year we talked a little bit that we were needed these dollars to be more competitive with our surrounding states. Can you speak to that a little bit? I think that like Alabama may have been given a little bit more, that were some of our border people that are looking at Alabama or Mississippi might be going over there because their program is a little bit better. This allows us to shore it up. Is that correct?
It helps. Yes, sir. It helps. When we started this state education assistance program, and you all certainly helped us get that off the ground and funded it. At that particular time, we were losing a lot of folks, citizens, to the Alabama Guard, to the Tennessee Guard, and to the Louisiana Guard, because the bottom line was, if you were in college and you were in the National Guard within any of those states, your tuition was free. This is certainly stop the bleeding, and our recruiting numbers were showing us this, that we were kind of on the short end of the stick, and these kids needed help going to college, and they would drive 30 miles either way, on the border of Mississippi to another state and become part of their state's National Guard. This state education assistance program has stopped the bleeding, and you can see that in our numbers. What we're able to do and what we're, going forward in the future, we certainly want to meet with some of these institutions of higher learning, because every year, as you well know, the college tuition goes up, and we would be asking some of the leadership within the big three to begin with, of course, if we could put a cap on the amount of an hour per college, because it was a military individual. And then we think it won't go, it won't continue to rise every year. Now, no doubt we've had a lot more soldiers and airmen partake in this program. It seems like every year, which is helping our recruiting within the Mississippi National Guard. But we know there's some programs that are kind of capped based off an individual status, and that would kind of help us know how much it was going to be every year when we came to present it to the legislature.
That would be great. I was thinking that, as you were mentioning a moment ago, the universities would come alongside and help, and it's a team sport. If everybody can help a little bit,
yes,
it really will allow those dollars to go further. So that's good to know. You mentioned the armies a little bit. I know the last few years we've done a lot of CapEx money to get the drawdown, to get those completed. So it looks like we're on the tail end of all that.
We are, yes, sir. We're on tap, and forgive me for not having the exact dates, but we're breaking ground on the Amory Armory.
Great.
We've broken ground on the South Haven Armory. We've got an add-on there in Corinth, and we have an add-on to the armory there in Carthage as well. Yeah, we're right on track with our armories. So I'm really excited about that, and again, without the support of you and the legislature, that wouldn't be possible. So thank you, but we're right on track. Yes, sir.
That's good to know, because it's 3-1 pull down, and if we give 5, we get 20. or we can spend 20. So that pulled down.
It's, it's a 75-25 split there. As you remember last year,
Yes, sir.
we had gotten 18 million from the federal side for the Amory Army, and we were waiting on the 6 million here, and you all got it for us. And of course, tragic event up in Amory with the tornado, but it's going to be a big, beautiful armory there. So
Forward to seeing it
Yeah.
when it's completed.
yes, sir.
Does the committee have any questions? Yes, sir. Senator Barr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, the Youth Challenge Program, it's a very successful program and so forth at Camp Shelby. I think, how are the facilities there? Are they being, I think we appropriate some money for some upgrades there. Has that been completed? Do you need more upgrades there? Or can you tell me what the status of that is, please?
Yes, sir. The monies that you all appropriated the last 2 years, and again, we had not taken any monies to improve those facilities since the inception of that program 32 years ago. But the monies that you all appropriated the last 2 years in a row has helped tremendously. The money's there. It's been spent. I can't tell you how many roofs on buildings have already been replaced, but it almost looks like for lack of better words, a newer type campus at Camp Shelby. And again, that program, Senator, out of the 34 that are in the United States, that program we have at Camp Shelby always is in the top 3, whether it's graduating or just any metrics you use. Colonel Stringer and his team do a great job, but we really, really needed to invest some monies in that program down there. And you all did that for 2 years in a row, and it looks good. So,
Yeah. Any plans to expand the program or keep the status quo?
So, right now, we normally start out in that program with about 225 to 250. Always the target is to graduate at least 200. I don't think there's a need to expand it right now, but for the future, you certainly keep that on the table. And we've actually talked about maybe even, if need be, expanding one in the north as well at Camp McCain, because some states have 2, some states have 3. I will tell you at the federal level, they have cut some of the programs out, and a good example is Louisiana had 3. They're down to 2 now. But I think Mississippi, with our success, we could be possibly going in the other direction in years to come.
Okay. Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If in closing, this is unscripted, General. I hope it's okay. Want to thank you for your leadership. I think National Guard's had great leadership for some time now, and you've been there. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions in closing. Is could you maybe share what you're most proud of and what you see as your greatest challenge as leading our National Guard?
So, I guess in the last 12 months, and you've probably heard of the Army Transformation Initiative, ATI. And the Army has not transformed in many, many years. And that certainly has affected all of the National Guard states out there. As we continue to practice velocity management, do more with less from federal funding, that becomes a challenge. But the recruiting piece, the retention piece is our number one priority. Because we're not at 100% when it comes to recruiting. We've got about on the Army side, we've got about 8,500, and our ceiling is about 10,500. But everything that we're doing and the support from our state is all trending in the right direction. So we've had to certainly move around some units. We've had some units because of Army transformation that have gone away, not because of the Mississippi National Guard, but because of the Army structure, what we call the R-struct. But we continue to keep our eye on the ball, continuing to recruiting, and as we increase, the force structure will continue to build, if you will. So, but that's a challenge, and it's a challenge for all 54. But we're very fortunate here in Mississippi to have a lot of talent within the Mississippi National Guard and people working really hard on that every day. And again, our legislature's support to us, that there's some good things on the horizon for the Mississippi National Guard because of all the support.
Any other questions? Again, on behalf of the Senate, thank you for the job that y'all do and the mission that y'all leave for us, as you expressed internationally around the world in so many different ways. Thank you. With nothing else, we'll stand adjourned.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Great, I'm good. How you doing?